Hey K-popers, and welcome back to Hallyu. This week's deep dive is all about the JYP rock group Day6. We're going to start by talking about the name change and roster changes that led to the Day6 that we know and love today, and then look at how Day6 had one of the busiest single years any K-pop group has ever had. After that, we'll see how the group has consistently been ramping up their success, and take a step back to see how being a rock group affects Day6 compared to other groups in K-pop. And finally, we'll look at why Day6's place in K-pop is really important and how it may be giving us a hint to what the future of K-pop looks like too. Before we get started, I want to quickly thank Hallyu's honorary producers. If you want to show off your bias group here, share your picks in weekly videos, and join a vibrant Discord community with watch parties, custom emoji, and more, all you need to do is support Hallyu on Patreon. Now, interestingly enough, Day6's story begins as a 5-member group with a different name. That's because all the way back in 2014, JYP Entertainment announced the upcoming debut of Sungjin, Jae, Youngtae, Junhyuk, and Wonpil as a 5-piece band called 5 Live. These 5 members started pre-debut promotions in that same year, which included a special appearance on the Mnet show Who's Next Win, and participating in the OST for the drama Bel Ami. But by the time summer of 2015 rolled around, Dowoon was also added to the group as a drummer, and the upcoming band's name was changed from 5 Live to Day6. Finally, the boys made their official debut on September 7th, 2015 with the album The Day and the title track Congratulations. If you've been following Hallyu for a while, you know I love Congratulations. In fact, when I released my top 25 boy group debuts of all time, Day6 took the #1 spot with that song. And I wasn't the only one who loved it. Day6's debut album peaked at number 2 on Billboard's World Album Chart, giving the brand new rock band some significant early success. And it wasn't long at all until Day6 were promoting all over the place. By the end of 2015, they'd already held their first 2-day concert in Seoul, held a showcase in Taiwan, and hosted a fan meet in Singapore. Unfortunately though, just a couple months into 2016, JYP revealed that Junhyuk had left the band and terminated his contract with JYP for personal reasons. This left Day6 with 5 members, which of course is how the group remains today, and as 5 they were already back at it a month later with their second EP, Daydream. This album featured the song Letting Go, and it also marked their official music show debut when they performed it on M Countdown. They actually hadn't gone on any music shows as part of their debut promotions. Now, we need to talk about the year 2017 for Day6, because though they closed out 2016 pretty quietly after releasing their EP in March of that year, it was for a very good reason. Day6's collective releases in 2017 were arguably the busiest year any idol group has ever had in K-pop. The only comparable I can think of is Big Bang's Made series of comebacks, but even then, I think Day6's is more impressive. So what did they do in 2017? Well, let me tell you about the Everyday 6 project. This project was announced on December 29th of 2016, and it involved a monthly activity schedule. What was that schedule? Well, on the 6th day of the month, Day6 would release 2 new songs, a title track and a side track, host concerts leading up to those new songs, drop new music video, and host 4 V-Live broadcasts. They did this every single month for 12 straight months. Just the sheer amount of content that Day6 put out in 2017 is unbelievable, and I'm sure fans were just basking in the non-stop fresh music from their favorite group. To really drive this point home and understand how much they put out, let me try to give you a quick summary. In the first half of the year, Day6 released the title tracks I Wait, You Were Beautiful, How Can I Say, I'm Serious, Dance Dance, and I Smile, along with 6 additional tracks of course. The band also promoted in the month of March on music shows, and in June they released all 12 of those songs with a new version of Letting Go and Congratulations on a new album called Sunrise. And that was all just in the first half of the year. They followed that up with 6 more title tracks. Hi Hello, What Can I Do, I Loved You, When You Love Someone, All Alone, and I Like You. And just like in June, December saw the boys release a second album called Moonrise with the 12 songs and new versions of all their B-sides from their debut EP. Oh, and on top of all that, the boys had a 5-stop tour through North America in October and a multi-city tour across Korea in November. I said it at the start of the section, and I'm gonna say it again. Day6's 2017 may have been the most jam-packed single year of releases any idol group has ever had. Now, we haven't actually talked much yet about commercial success, and we will talk about it a bit more generally later on, but one thing is for sure, their efforts in 2017 paid off big. Day6's first 2 EPs didn't really sell too well, only pulling in about 10 and 15,000 sales each. Their 2 2017 albums, though, made a big jump to about 50,000, and ever since has been continually rising. In 2018, Day6 kept busy by making their official Japanese debut in March, performing a bunch more concerts all over the world, and releasing another 2 EPs which pushed beyond 60,000 sales. And in the couple of years since, Day6 have continued doing what they do best, creating fantastic rock music and continuing to impress with ever-improving charting and sales numbers. In fact, last year, despite JYP announcing the entire group would be on a temporary hiatus the day before releasing their new album, The Book of Us Demon, it still pushed to a new height of 80,000 copies sold, breaking the group's record for sales. In 2020, we also got Day6's first subunit, Day6 Even of Day, which of course just came back a matter of days ago as of the release of this video. Even of Day consists of Youngtae, Wonpil, and Dowoon, and they made that debut in 2020 with the song Where the Sea Sleeps. And I expect we'll be seeing even more of this subunit in the coming months and years, as member Sungjin announced on March 8th of this year that he was enlisting in the military. So now that we've got a good idea of Day6's journey from pre-debut until now, I think we need to step back and talk a bit about Day6's really unique place in K-pop. And that's because I actually think that Day6 plays a really key role in the K-pop landscape, and there's a lot that we can discover by looking at their recent success. So obviously, the key difference with Day6 is that they are an actual rock band. Unlike the vast majority of K-pop groups, they actually play some instruments while singing. And while that may seem like a small distinction, it has huge implications on your career as a group and individual idols. There's a lot of things you can't really do as a rock band, and there's some other things you can do a lot better than most other groups can too. As you may have already noticed throughout this deep dive, I haven't really talked about music shows too much, and that's because Day6 doesn't consistently promote on them. As I mentioned before, they didn't perform on any music shows during their debut promotions, and even since then, music show appearances have been pretty few and far between. Why is that? Well, for one, it's a lot harder to set up a stage when you've got all your instruments and equipment that need to be brought out on stage for your performance, and then taken back away backstage when you're done. And another issue is that you don't really have dynamic performances. Sure, the group's music and talent is going to be phenomenal, but there's no dancing or group movements on stage since they're anchored by their instruments. And this extends beyond music shows. Think about variety and reality shows like Weekly Idol. A lot of the activities that groups participate in on those shows revolve around doing choreography, whether it's their own or covering other groups. But rock bands simply don't do choreography, and so they're going to be a lot less likely to participate in those kinds of shows. But like I said, there's also things that Day6 can and have done incredibly well that suit them as a rock band. One that immediately comes to my mind is Idol Radio, where they're right at home performing their music in a more casual and authentic atmosphere. And along that same train of thought, Day6 are the kings of covers. There are a ton of amazing covers to check out that the boys have performed for our listening pleasure, and here is just a very, very small sample of some of them.
I don't mind spending every day out on the corner in the pouring rain. Stop and stare. I think I'm moving, but I go nowhere because I'm at the rebel.
Now there's one last piece I do want to talk about, and that is where Day6 and more broadly rock bands fit into K-pop. And to start that conversation, let's jump back to music shows one last time. Day6's first ever music show win came for the song Time of Our Life on Show Champion on July 24th, 2019, so nearly 4 years after their debut. Why do I bring that up? Well, let's rewind to the year 2007 when FT Island, another rock group, made their debut with Lovesick and won their first music show with that song, just 42 days after their official debut. Now jump to 2009 when CN Blue debuted with I'm a Loner, and it only took them 15 days to earn their first music show win. In the second generation of K-pop, rock music was pretty big, but we've seen just how the modern K-pop world is becoming more and more centered around your typical idol group with more members, flashy choreography, and personalities suited for those secondary promotions. And that's why Day6 is so impressive to me, and why I think they're so important in this vast world of K-pop. As K-pop keeps growing, it's vital that it doesn't lose what made it so successful in the first place, drawing on influences from many different genres of music from different parts of the world. K-pop needs Day6 and other rock bands to maintain its diversity and universal reach with its fans. Rock groups like Day6 are a key piece in the K-pop puzzle, and seeing their success grow exponentially in the past couple of years is a testament to their talent and their ability to show K-pop fans that there isn't just one single way to be a talented idol group. When Day6 released their latest full group album this past April, it sold over 110,000 copies, a massive total for any group, especially for a rock group. It makes you wonder, are we witnessing the start of a rock resurgence in K-pop? Or are more and more fans finally just discovering the immense talent that is Day6? Or maybe it's a bit of both. Either way, one thing is for sure. K-pop needs rock groups, and when it comes to those rock groups, there's nobody quite like Day6. Alright, that's the story of Day6 so far. Do you listen to rock groups like them as much as other K-pop groups? I personally really enjoy Day6's music, but usually I find myself listening more to traditional girl groups. As always, thank you so much for watching this deep dive, and if you enjoyed the video, be sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss all the great K-pop content that's coming your way every single week right here at Hallyu. This has been deep dive number 61, Day6.